Hey guys, welcome back to my sewing room. My name is Amanda. If you haven't been here before, if you have, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to talk all about illusion mesh. Yes, I promised you guys a tutorial on how to custom dye your illusion mesh. Today, I'm fulfilling that, okay? So I'm going to teach you guys how to create an illusion mesh that's close to my skin tone. I know a lot of us brown girls have, varying skin tones all over the place, but I feel like my skin tone is a good maybe starting place for you to go ahead and build upon and maybe make darker skin tones off of the formulation that I'm showing you guys in the video today. This is the illusion mesh that I dyed in our video today. Let me show you guys what it looks like compared to my skin tone. So this is what it looks like compared to my skin tone. It's fairly close. I think it still is a little bit warm. So at the end of the video, I decided to go ahead and experiment and see if I created a big dye bath again, and I put a little bit of purple and teal dye in there, if it would counteract the brassiness of some of this orange here. And this is what it turned out to. So this is what our original dye is, and this is a good color if you have a little bit more warm undertones. This one is a more neutral, kind of maybe neutral to neutral ashy color. And this is what this one looks like on my skin tone. So this one is a bit of a closer match. So for me, I will be using this one. I'll be taking in all of this and putting it in another dye bath with this teal and this. Now, in order, I think a better one instead of the tulle will be to get like a primary color blue in the Rit Dye More Synthetic line. But I didn't have it. I wanted to use what I had. And I used this and it worked really good for counteracting the brassiness in the illusion mesh. Now I would say when you do this, you literally want to have a ton of water and a little bit of dye, and then you want to be checking on it. You want to put it in there and leave it in there for maybe a minute, 2 minutes, literally that's it. Because you don't want it to turn blue or you don't want it to turn purple. So this is what we're creating today. I hope you guys really enjoy this. I spent the last week or so formulating this so I can go ahead and make this tutorial for you guys. Since apparently you guys don't like rectangle skirts, but whatever. If you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, make sure to hit subscribe down below. Also turn on notifications so you guys can be notified the next time I post. If you guys are interested in learning how to draft all of my patterns as well as getting exclusive member only content, make sure to hit the join button down below. Now let's get to it. Okay, so these are the dyes that we're going to need. You may not need them all, but if you're trying to get to the color that I got to today, you're going to need at least 4 of them. Okay. They are about $5.99 each, so that's not that bad. You want to get the Rit Dye More Synthetic brand. You don't want to get the regular dye. This is the regular dye. First of all, this dark brown is actually really green. It's not brown at all. It turns it like gray green, so don't even waste your time with purchasing this. You want to get the Rit Dye More Synthetic one, okay? And these are the colors that I got. I got chocolate brown, I got sandstone, apricot, I got royal purple, and then navy blue. I'm using this in the place of a primary blue. You want to make sure that you get a primary blue. I just have this as like a stand-in to know that you need to get a blue because we're going to be doing some formulating up in here, okay? But I did use the purple in place of the blue today, so and the purple worked out just fine. So if you have purple, go ahead and use that purple instead of going out and getting another dye and getting the blue. The purple actually worked just fine. If you guys are familiar with the color chart, you know that blue is directly across from orange. So blue is a complementary color, and it cancels out the brassiness or the orangeness in whatever hair or illusion mesh or whatever you're dyeing. But purple is pretty close to blue, obviously, so purple does the trick too, but it also does leave a little bit of warmth in there because obviously purple does have red in it. So grab your dyes and let's go ahead and go over to the kitchen and start formulating. Okay, so here we are in my kitchen. Don't judge me, y'all. I've used this bin all week to dye so many different batches of illusion mesh, trying to make good colors for you guys. So what I'm doing is I am running some hot water. I'm going to fill it up about 3/4 of a way. If you have like a gumbo pot or like a really large pot that you can boil water with, that'll be perfect for this, but I don't. I'm going to use this Casa Collection tulle in bright white. No, actually, I'm sorry. This is in ivory. I'm using a Costa Collection tool in ivory. This is absolutely perfect for illusion mesh. You don't want to get the tool that's meant for tutus. You actually want to get like a soft tool, and this is around $6.99 a yard. You use your coupon, that's like $3 a yard, compared to spending $30+ a yard buying illusion mesh. It's just crazy, and I'm not doing it anymore. Okay, so I'm just showing you guys what it looks like. It has this salvage in here, and this is how you know that these people who are giving you, or like the Chinese vendors and all of them that are giving you illusion mesh, are really just using this tool, because it all has the same salvage. So this is what I'm using today. I'm running this water here so that it can get nice and hot. The water from my sink actually gets very, very, very hot, like almost like boiling temperature. So using the sink water does suffice for me, but you could boil water. Now my water pressure is all kind of crazy because my husband needs to fix the faucet, like I've been telling him forever, so please excuse this. But I'm just gonna go ahead and fill this up, and then I'll come back when it's all full. Okay, so the bin is all full, and this is how much water that I'm going to use for our first dye bath. I do have 5 yards of fabric, and I decided to go ahead and cut that in half, so I'm going to do them in 2.5 yard batches. Before I pour my dye into the bucket, I'm going to go ahead and shake it first, because I want to make sure that all the dye particles are mixed in there. Then I'm going to put 2 capfuls of this chocolate brown dye into this water. Now this chocolate brown dye can get really orange, so I'm just going to go ahead and nip that in the bud from the gate, and I'm going to put a tiny bit of purple dye into this dye bath as well. After I put that in there, I'm going to be super ghetto because I don't have any plastic forks or spoons or anything. I'm not using my metal ones. I'm going to mix this up with a ruler so that all of the dye is distributed evenly in the water, and then I'm going to go ahead and put my my fabric in the water. Now I did say that I broke this down in half, so instead of doing a 5 yard batch like I initially planned, I decided to go ahead and split it in half and only do a 2.5 yard batch so that my fabric isn't really splotchy. I noticed that when I did it in 5 yard batches with this smaller kind of bin, my dyes did come out a little bit splotchy, so you want to be careful of that. Okay, so this is around 2 minutes later. This is what it looks like, and it's fairly close to my skin tone. This would be perfect for someone who's a little bit more light than I am. So I decided to go ahead and put it back in the bucket and dye it for about 2 to 3 more minutes to see how it will turn out. Okay, and this is actually 4 minutes later, and this is what it looks like. And it's, y'all, this is like me in illusion mesh. This is perfect. I'm so happy with the color, so I decided to go ahead and just yank all of this out of here. I don't want to leave in here any longer, and I'm going to go ahead and rinse this out. And I do rinse it out really thoroughly, making sure I open it out, make sure there's no more dye, and then I just plop it into the dryer to make sure that it's dry. When you put it in the dryer, you do want to make sure it's on the delicate setting and the heat is low so that it doesn't like mess up your mesh. Could you imagine if you spent all this time dyeing your illusion mesh and then it just melted in your dryer? Yeah, no. And I've got them both out of the dryer. I got them rinsed out and dried, and this is what they look like. The one on the right hand side is the one that I dyed to match my skin tone, and the one on the left hand side is the one that I kind of experimented on in the end. It does look a little bit different now that it's all folded up, but don't be alarmed. These are the same fabrics that I showed you compared to my skin in the beginning of the video. Now, after this, I did decide to go ahead. I'm just showing you, like, where's the mesh? Okay, where is it? I can't see it. I am showing you guys what it looks like, but I did go ahead and give this a dye bath after. I mixed another full bath, and then I put a little bit of purple and a little bit of teal into the water, and I dipped this in there, and then it gave us that more neutral tone like I gave you guys, like I showed you guys in the beginning. And like I said, this one is kind of a fail, but I just wanted to experiment for us, for those of you guys who have lighter skin tones. I haven't forgot about y'all. I'm working on it, okay? But all in all, I am very happy with the way this turned out, especially the one that I dyed in my skin tone. I hope this video can be very helpful for some of you guys out there. If you guys need a more yellow undertone instead of using orange, you could use yellow. That could help too, and I'm going to experiment with that next. I probably won't do a whole nother video, but I will do like maybe a post in the community tab, or maybe even something over in my Facebook group. So if you guys aren't over there, make sure to check the description box. I have the name of the Facebook group for you guys to go ahead and search over there. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate you guys more than you know. I want to list out all of my lovely channel members, as well as my patrons over on Patreon. Here are all their names. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys. And I'll see you over in my next one.